Cool.
What you're about to hear is pure entertainment, recaps, and stories in the Pacific Northwest motocross scene. Welcome to the 30 Plus 2 podcast with your hosts, Steven Kristoff and Lexi Y. Put the board up. Let's go.
All right. Well, happy freaking Tuesday to you, Lexi. Yeah, we're 15 minutes late. I don't know what is going on with Facebook, the internet. I don't know. The world's ending, I guess. So I don't know. Are you? I don't know. I'm all frazzled right now, Lexi.
Well, I was like, I gotta get on, and then I couldn't find my computer charger, and I was like, oh gosh. So I tried to put another charger on, it didn't work. So now we're just going with the phone today.
Yeah, we're extra loose today with the 30 Plus 2 podcast. Yeah. Thanks for joining. If you're able to watch live, if not, watch the replay when it pops up. For some reason, everything was all working out perfect. I had all the tabs set right. And then I don't know if Bill Gates hates me today or, Steve Jobs. I mean, rest in peace to Steve Jobs, but the computer was glitching. Verizon was Verizoning. And yeah, I don't know. The Facebook pages aren't working. So hopefully we got 7 viewers. So they're watching on the personal Facebook and Gate Drop YouTube and on the Gate Drop page. But I don't know what's going on, Lexi. It's like
it's a big mess.
Yeah, it's like a local race where you just drop the gate on all the riders and it's like, good luck. Figure it out. Have fun. Don't die.
Yes.
So, anyways, episode 31 of the 30 Plus 2 podcast. Tonight we got Michael and Stephanie Miller on, that Moto couple. I gave Lexi zero research and info or anything, so we're learning today. But longtime friends of mine, which you'll get to know as well, they travel all around California, Oregon, Washington, have their YouTube channel, have a kid now. They're just full moto parenting it up. So, yeah, it'll be fun, laid back show. But I mean, you had some important and big stuff happen this past weekend. I mean, how was homecoming? I saw like photos, like was the dancing legit? I should have put like SpongeBob dancing in here or something for you. Like, how was the weekend for you?
Homecoming was very good. The football game on Friday rained, but it was still fun to go with our school. And then our dinner plans got a little mixed up because we didn't really want to wait long to get a seat. So we ended up we were going to go to the Ram, then we were going to go to Red Robin. So we ended up at Wingstop. So that was very interesting for homecoming. But then we went axe throwing and then all hung out. So it was really good at the end.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, you could always do reservations in the future, so then you don't have to wait.
Where we wanted to go, you had to have 10 people to make a reservation.
What?
Yeah, so we only had 6. So we're like, oh shoot, that's not gonna really work.
I've never heard. Oh, okay, what place was this? I'm gonna write a nasty review for you. Okay, well,
the Ram in like Tacoma, I think.
Okay, the Ram in Tacoma, like, why does it matter, bro? You're already gonna make like $120 off them. Just saying. This whole show is gonna be ranting, ranting and raving. Anyway.
Yes.
Oh man, homecoming for me was like 15 years ago. No, 12 years ago. Wow, I'm old. You got stuff coming up this weekend though. Are you still planning on going the airway? Like what's the weekend plans?
I'm not 100% sure, but I most likely will be at Airway this weekend.
Yeah, take us through what's all been going on. What's going on there and whatnot. Free plug for Airway MX.
So we have the Scare Scramble there this weekend, and it's a 3-hour team race, which is really cool. And I've done their Easter one and their Halloween one, and this is by far my favorite team race I've ever done, off-road wise. And I'm super excited for it.
Okay. Well, luckily, I'm looking at the weather right now. It's like the only area that's not getting rain this weekend, so you're good.
Perfect spot.
It'll be in the 50s to low 40s, so wear a sweatshirt. But yeah.
Yeah.
There's not really much going on other than Woodland this weekend. Eugene's got a race going on, but I don't know. We're kind of in a lull of like big events and whatnot. Besides Airway having their Halloween stuff,
Yeah.
have you made any contract negotiations with JMC yet? Do I need to get the line with Michelle for you?
I've been slowly getting back to my normal days. I'm no longer in the boot. I've decided that I don't really care what the doctor has to say. I'm not wearing that stupid boot. And I got new boots for riding today, so I'm super excited. You know, I can have new pink boots.
Nice.
And we're just slowly getting back together. I really hope that this weekend we're just taking it real slow to make sure I'm back in full 100% and making sure my ankle's going to be still intact by the end. So I'm excited to come back and start racing again.
Yeah, I went out to Albany this past weekend, did some photos. Thanks for everyone purchasing. I didn't really say I was going. I just kind of showed up. I'm getting feedback on your computer. You may want to turn me down just a little. Or is it your phone? I don't know. Anyways, that's better. But yeah, went out to Albany, and I forget that I'm injured. I don't know if you forget that, like when you were injured, but like I'm like walking around, I'm like, I'm fine. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I'm tired of being injured. It's been a month and kind of over it at this point. So
It sucks.
it's not fun. I think I get to quit from that. Let's throw Michael and Stephanie on. I got my guests here. So we'll chat with them, talk about everything Moto, and just, have kind of a shortish show. I don't know, see what they're up to. All right, here's our guests, Michael and Stephanie. What is up, guys?
Hi.
I totally just ripped off your YouTube channel for a quick like intro, like 15 minutes before the podcast starts. So thanks for like, filming and doing all that stuff. Made my life very easy.
Yeah, we were just laughing because I was like, oh my gosh, that's so great that you use that.
Well, we're trying to have this, janky show work a lot better. But like I said off the top of the show, I'm kind of frazzled right now. I'm really mad at like either Bill Gates or, Steve Jobs or whoever like screwed the entire podcast tonight. So
yeah, it's definitely targeted.
I feel targeted. 3 weeks from the election, I'm definitely targeted.
It's either Harris, Trump, or Kristoff.
We're gonna take the 30+2 podcast and wreck it. Well, thanks for jumping on. I know, kind of random. I just throw you guys in the deep end of the pool at times. You've been on, various shows of mine and hanging out and whatnot. But I figured, you guys are, somewhat interesting, kind of interesting. You're kind of cool, so. But, you guys have a whole video series and whatnot going on. For people that like may not know you guys at all, like how do you guys get into like racing, get to know each other and whatnot? And what do you love most about racing dirt bikes?
Oh man, that's too long of a question to answer. It's like that's all I've known growing up, and I actually met Stephanie at Pat's Acres first time she ever came out and rode at the track, and we just started hanging out and then never stopped.
No.
Yeah, I mean, how do you I don't know, you just like show up to the track and you just like meet the love of your life? Like, is that how easy it works? Like, I don't know, give Lexi some tips here. Maybe she'll find her like Jet Lawrence at the track, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think Jet Lawrence is taken. I'm not sure about Hunter, but so honestly, I don't want to get weird here, but I had a friend who I thought was dating her at the time. Got him out to the track once. He crashed, loaded up, and went home and wouldn't come back. I'm like, well, if I get her to come out to the track, maybe he'll come back. And then I guess she wasn't actually dating him. And so I talked to her a little bit on the internet. I'm like, hey, come out to the track, ride with us. Maybe Lotto will get homie out here. And then we started talking and met up at the track, and it's all uphill from there.
Yeah, I mean, coming out to ride track is really intimidating for a first time rider. I mean, I've tried to get even my family to come out, and I mean, they share a lot of the same fears that I had, like just going out and being vulnerable in something that you know nothing about. Like I showed up like 20 minutes before Michael got there and made sure to put in a couple laps before he got there because I was like, I don't want him to see me for my very first time. And I definitely dumped it in a corner. I'm like, whew, well, I'm glad I got that out of the way before he was out there to see it. But he definitely saw some carnage thereafter, anyways. It was great.
You
It's a great
literally
way to break the ice.
you literally fell for him.
Yes, yes. I actually ran into him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Ah,
Yeah, there's a double section she wanted to follow me over. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep it straight, keep it like exactly the right pace, and like just follow me over it, match my speed. And like I hit the first one and looked back, and she had followed me right over that one, hit the second one, and I'm like, yeah, she did it. And next thing I know, my bike's coming out from underneath me because she just freight trained me from the back.
oh, it was glorious.
Well, you're definitely that moto couple. I mean, you guys got a couple hundred followers on YouTube now, and you guys are doing a whole bunch of vlogs and whatnot. I know Lexi and her friend Chandler are thinking about doing stuff like that. Like, what got you guys into doing
Do it.
YouTube vlogs and documenting everything that you guys do?
Well, it's more or less like we started out just like, well, I mean, obviously we're not going to go Deegan size or anything like that, like any of those vlogs. But it's like, man, it'd be cool to just be able to just ride dirt bikes and not do anything for work because that really throws a stick in the spokes for a lot of fun times. But it was more or less like, oh, we'd like to document the memories, but scrapbooking is lame. So let's just, be able to take videos and stuff, document our weekend. Then whenever we have a rainy day, it's like, let's go back and relive that weekend.
I mean, he's also being modest in the sense that he's always really liked the videography stuff.
It's more of a
And
hobby.
yeah, and like he's always been really good at like making the mini edits, shorts and whatnot for Instagram. And then he was like, well, I kind of want to make it bigger, and then we can also have something to look back on. And at that time we were like, well, if we ever have kids, we can show them. And then it's also nice to watch like where I started and like where he was at that time, and then go back and be like, yeah, I am faster. I have made progress. It is really hard, like since we've had Carson, to still go out and get videos just because we haven't been riding. And well, I definitely wasn't really riding, and it was really hard there at the end to go out and film him and getting the
Yeah.
same shots at Albany in the same spot. It just kind of gets monotonous in that sense. And I mean, we could do videos at home, but our life is pretty boring, I guess. At home it's pretty normal, just on a day to day. I don't think people really want to see that.
I don't know. I mean, I've watched a few of your vlogs today just to try to get information and whatnot. And you guys somewhat have storylines, especially with your California trips that you guys do and whatnot. Like, have you thought about doing like, I don't know, for you, if you want to try to make any income off this, like doing reviews or kind of stuff like, I don't know, sponsor wise? I mean, Michael, you are, pretty fast compared to obviously me.
And me.
Actually, the last vlog we did was mostly me and shots, like kind of going over the 25 YZ450 that I
Yeah.
just bought, and being able to like, it's also good to like look back on, because I noticed like with Instagram and stuff, like, why do you post so many videos and stuff? It's like, well, if I start feeling like I'm riding really bad, I can look back like, when's the last time I was feeling good? It's like, okay, right here, this is what was going on. This is what I was eating. This is what my fitness looked like. wasn't on the KTM or whatever the issue
Yeah.
is. No offense to KTM, it just didn't mesh well with me. That steel frame.
Yeah.
She's doing great on hers, but
Yeah. No issues with mine.
What'd you say, Lexi?
I love my KTM.
It's
Mainly
a good bike.
one thing I've ever ridden, except for a PW, but
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. You got any tips for Lexi for doing vlogs and whatnot? Lexi, feel free to jump in, ask any random questions.
oh, tips, I would say just
Just
record everything and you can always cut out the fluff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure what to do with my hands or what to say. It's like, well, just do it and then just cut all the stuff out that, you don't want in there.
I'd say just start. Because, I mean, we talked about it for a while, and then it's like, okay, we're just going to do this. We tried, like, the whole, like, writing down, like, what you're going to say, and it's like, it just seemed too practiced and rehearsed. And we're
yeah,
like, let's just have, like, a general idea of what we're going to talk about. And then if we end up, like, over talking, like he said, you can always just cut it out. But just have fun with it.
that'd be awesome. I would be really excited to do it because when we went to Arizona and trained, me and Chandler were like, oh, every single day we should make a vlog. And it ended up just being a whole bunch of just rambling about stupid things like, oh, we fell in hot yoga, or oh, Chandler found wire in the back of my tire or something.
Mm.
A whole bunch of stuff. But I think it'd be pretty funny just to see all the things that we come up with.
Yeah, but like you going to different races or like you said, training, people would be so interested in watching that, like to see the tracks. Cause I mean, anytime Michael and I travel out of state, we're always YouTubing, GoPro footage of other people riding that track just to get an idea of like what the jumps are gonna be like, what kind of dirt there is, and yeah.
That'd be cool.
Nice. Michael, since you just got the Yamaha and whatnot, I noticed you were talking a little bit about the programs they have and you researching how to make income and, contingency and whatnot. Like, take us through a little bit of that. Like, what have you found out about, getting on certain bikes and whatnot? I mean, yes, you're not a Jet Lawrence type rider or whatnot. Everything's not just going to fall in your lap. But for you, like, how have you found ways to make, the moto life for both you and Stephanie possible?
Well, if you're going strictly on contingency and stuff like that, it's something I totally forgot about that I didn't remember since I was on like 85s and stuff. And I saw a post that Power Motorsports put out, like, ask about Blue Crew racer support. And when I was buying my bike, I asked them, like, well, what's that all about? And they're like, oh, we'll just fill out these papers. We'll fax it over to Yamaha or Blue Crew. And in a few weeks, you should have like $1,000 store credit since you bought a new 25 YZ 450. It's kind of like a rebate thing.
Yeah.
In-store credit. I still haven't seen it yet, but hoping it's coming in.
Yeah.
But more or less, it's since she's a stay-at-home mom now, I'm the only employed person right now. But more or less, like trying to pick and choose what you spend money on.
Nice.
And big bikes is always number 2 behind her and Carson.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get back in the racing and whatnot? I know you're talking a little bit about it in your vlogs. You showed the beginner class in California. That was very interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I actually
was
went back
insane.
to because they're running transponders down there, and I looked at the lap times of the beginner class, like the 250 beginner versus Open Pro. I mean, granted, it's a short track like PIR, but it's like when the fast lap in the Open Pro class is only 5 seconds faster than the 250 beginner class. There's something in the water down there. Those people are fast.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I thought about racing, and then my moto was going to be right before Michael's, and I was like, well, that's going to be too much carnage, like back to back like that. I'd like to have him there on the gate with me. So I didn't race, but I'm really glad that I didn't, just because, especially after watching those motos and seeing how fast everyone was, I was like, I choose life. I don't want to die. And it being the end of their night series, everyone knows the track, everyone's raced there consistently. I was like, yeah, maybe we'll come back at like the beginning of the series when I might be able to actually poke my head in there and be competitive, I guess. I don't know. I choose life. I didn't want to die.
I don't know. Alvarez was pretty fast, but I don't remember whole lot of other of the women's class. We watched the women's moto. She was in Alvarez. I'm sure you guys have heard of her.
Yeah.
She's pretty quick.
She's crazy. Yes.
Yeah. I
What's
definitely fangirled over her a little bit.
It's always hard to go to a track when everybody's ridden there. It's their home track, and they're always so used to it. And you're like, oh, I still have to figure out all the jumps, and you only have a few laps for practice, and you're trying to figure it all out in once. It doesn't always go well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the nice thing about like just going down there to practice, though. Something that has been really good for the both of us is like riding different tracks, and like when you're traveling out of state, you only have that one day to learn that track. And so I think that helps push you like out of your comfort zone a little bit. Like, okay, I only got one day to ride this track. I want to hit some of the jumps. I'm thinking about this one. Okay, but I got one day, so I'm going to do it anyways. And that can
Yes.
either go good or bad. But when we went to Northern California and then SoCal in 1 year and Montana, it was it really helped me a lot riding those different terrains, different track builds and everything. It's just really good. I hope more people will travel to California. I mean, it's not that expensive. I feel like when it comes down to planning with friends, it's like it's really not that hard. Just find one buddy. You don't need a whole group because planning with the group can be hard. Just one other person and split the bill.
What are some of your favorite tracks that you went to down in Cali?
I will say number one for me is Riverfront, because this last time we just went to NorCal, and I'd say Riverfront's probably one of my favorites. And
Hangtown.
oh yeah, Hangtown is. I really like Hangtown.
It's just such a fun track. Like I didn't even like ride it super fast or anything, but it's just such a fun track. I don't know what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. It's so wide. It's so open. It's a lot of fun. But yeah. Any other favorites?
We also hit MMX this last time, which is it's pretty mellow, but that's also a fun track. I mean, mellow enough. I mean, our buddy still
Yeah.
broke his collarbone and 4 ribs and got to stay an extra night down in California. Which, if you're watching this, Mike, get well soon, buddy.
God.
Yeah.
I went to Hangtown once for a Loretta Regional, so my dad could make it in 2023, I think. And it was so cool because it was like right after the actual national. And so it was
Wow.
like all the track, like, oh my gosh, Jet Lawrence just rode this track and he just crashed in this corner. And it was kind of cool to see everything.
That's exactly
Lexi's
what
over
Michael
there
felt.
scooping the dirt into a jar.
Yeah.
That's Jet.
Well, yeah, like the downhill, right, that Jet crashed on, like his first lap out, he like tried to like triple or whatever
Yes.
that downhill jump. Michael's like, all right, just don't do what Jet did there. I was like, I'll try and remember that.
You have to be going so fast. Like after riding it,
Yeah.
seeing those bumps and how far apart they are, I'm like,
There's no way.
what are you smoking to try and double that?
Well, in the uphill, or it was like, it was the dub, or I think it's a tabletop, but it was like uphill step up. That felt so cool to hit because I was so high in the air, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then it's just like all the way down. It looks really cool in videos too.
I know
Dude,
which one.
the Fly 150.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually 150 feet. Like it feels shorter than that, but it is a huge jump.
Yes.
Is that the one that you hit, the Fly 150?
Isn't it like right? It's kind of closer to the finish line.
Yeah,
go
it's
into-
like a left
yes.
180.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn. That is impressive because I mean, I doubled it and I'm like, I'm overshooting it, but just coming off of having a baby and like having to take care of a baby, it's still a little sketchy to me. Like
Yeah.
hitting the bigger lines, I'm like, I'm sure I got it, but I don't want to die.
No,
But
you need to
that's
go
awesome.
home and take care of the baby.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because watching him hit it and seeing like just his air time, I'm like, that's got to be such a wild feeling.
It feels so cool. It's just like hitting the jumps, like at Horn, those tabletops, like they're super long and they feel
Yeah.
longer than that one, but that one sends you so high in the air.
Yeah.
It feels awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, at Horn, I have such a hard time hitting all their tables because they're so long. I'm like,
Yeah.
you gotta hit them going so fast. I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for that yet.
You do it in the beginning of the day so you get cupped out on the lifts and then the landings get kind of funky.
Or
Get
the
dialed
wind
before
starts
it's-
picking up and you
Oh.
hit sideways, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not hitting it anymore.
Yeah, no thanks.
Jeez.
That happened to us at Riverfront
Mhm.
Thursday when we went down there, and we went to practice at Riverfront Thursday night, and the wind was like 35-mile-an-hour gusts and stuff like that, and it was dang near impossible to ride in. It's like you're either like getting blown back and you wouldn't be able to like, time your jumps right, or you get a tailwind and push you further and you're just overshooting everything. Or my favorite is getting blown from the side and it just takes the bike out from underneath you a little bit. And it's like, where is this thing?
Or all the sand, especially at Horn, starts going up and you can't see anything. You're trying to
Yeah.
fight through, and it's like, oh, there's a person right there, or oh no, there's a braking bump, and
Oh yeah, Horn gets rough too.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
What's your guys' opinions on tracks you guys have hit in Washington, Oregon, California? Like, you notice any differences per location, like prep, management, structure? What do you like about it? What do you kind of don't like?
I feel like we have a lot to say about this subject.
I'm gonna go check on Bill real quick.
Well, I mean, I feel like the dirt between Oregon and Washington, I mean, you get that clay based here in Oregon, and then Washington, it seems like there's maybe more sandy, loamy stuff. And then California, it's actually pretty similar to Oregon, I guess. It's more hard based, but there's also E Street, which is right next to MMX, which is a sand track. I'm not good at those ones myself, but I guess I really like the way California builds their tracks. It just seems like the lips are safe, the jumps are safe. It's more rider friendly. Like they'll have like a triple option or even a quad option, but it's like for beginners or people who are trying to get out of their comfort zone, it's like you can hit those jumps and it's still safe. Whereas here in Oregon, I guess like Pat's Acres, I mean, that's maybe more of like a backyard track. And so, like Albany, I feel like does a really good job of like you can ride the whole track like a beginner can go out there and they can roll things and it's safe.
Yeah.
But they do also, one thing I really like that Albany does is they have their option lines. Like every week they're always changing it. And that's what I was talking to Michael about on our way back from California is that none of the California tracks that we've been to have that. Like they just run the same track every week, every year. I mean, maybe they change out a jump or two, or maybe they adjust a section. But like we've been going to Riverfront for the past how many years?
That was our 5th year in a row.
5th year in a row, and it hasn't really changed. Maybe like a whoop section was added, but like
They don't have layouts like PIR and Albany where it's like it might change week to week, like the general track layout. I mean, most of the obstacles stay the same there,
Yeah.
but what layout they run just changes.
yeah,
Kind of seems up here we have more variations that we can do. I know Horn likes to change stuff here and there. And then, like you said,
Yes.
Albany seems like, as you're saying, like California tends to have kind of a cookie cutter set track layout, which I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, but one thing I've noticed, especially with like PIR, and there's no positives or negatives to it, but it's like you get certain riders that are so used to the same layout that they're only quick at that track.
yeah. Well, I mean, just watching that, watching Michael race Riverfront. I mean, they race that whole track all winter or summer long. However, I don't know, they can ride 365 basically. So I don't know, but seeing how like even their beginner, even though they don't necessarily have a beginner class, it's like if like typically here in Oregon, if I'm going to do 2 classes, I'll do the 450D class, and it's like I could at least chase around the guy second to last. You know what I mean? Like me and that guy could be cruising together. They wouldn't just like leave me and lap me within like the second lap. Here in California, it's like if I were to get on that 450D gate, which they don't have a D class, it's just like novice and beginner, I would get lapped before the first lap even ends, I think. Like it was insane. But I also think that's a good thing. Like
Yeah.
all those people, that were in that class at the beginning of the year, maybe they were a little bit slower, but by the end of it, look at all the progress they've made. They're going so fast.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing you, and it's always the mental like, oh my gosh, I'm in the D class and I should be pushed up further in this. And it's always like, I should push harder. I can do this. I can get up there by the end of the year. And it's a great way to push yourself, and having people that are faster than rather than people that you just chase around and you set to their speed and you don't push past them.
Yeah.
This is why I quit racing. I'm just slow all around.
Hey, I mean, I started riding, you know, after high school. It's like I'm not going to qualify for Loretta's, and I'm not trying to be like the next big thing. I'm here to have fun every weekend. Do I want to win? Of course I want to win. I work at it when I can, but please try not to kill me on the gate. Like especially the younger girls, I'd say like kind of close to your age, Lexi, because
Yeah.
like you guys have something to give. I'm a little older, so it's like I gotta go to work.
Job and
I gotta
responsibilities.
I got a baby. Please don't clean me out, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's it like being a couple that rides together? What are the perks of both being interested in the same hobby?
Perks are, not once have I ever heard, you really want to go to the track this weekend again? Like it's a bad thing. I don't know. I always say she's my best friend, and like not even like the sappy way that everyone says it, but then the second their partner isn't right there with them, they're like, "Oh my god, that's the most annoying person in the world." I don't know if Stephanie does that, but I
No,
obviously don't.
I don't. I don't.
But just being able to, you know, relate with her and like, show her some things, and she's shown me some things. I'd never ridden the dunes before, and she grew up riding the dunes and got to see that, and I got to show her track and like, hey, this is why you keep crashing. And it's like your form's all out of whack.
Yeah, but I mean, I also, from what he's told me, I help him out in a way where I'm asking, like, hey, like, do you know what gear you're hitting this jump in? And he's like, I don't think about these things, I'm just doing it. And so half the time you'll have to go back out and like think about it. Um, so in a way, we always keep each other interesting. We're always talking about dirt bikes. We're always talking about the next trip. We're always talking about ways we can improve on our downtime. I do feel bad that he does probably 99% of all the bike work, especially now that we have Carson. Like before we had Carson, I would help with what I could. But now it's like my responsibility when we get there. Okay, keep the baby happy. If you can help me unload some things, but I feel like that's a big reason why some guys don't want to date moto chicks is because, well, I gotta load 2 bikes, gotta clean 2 bikes. I mean, we try and share that responsibility. Also, there's been times where we've been on our way to Albany, and Michael's like, "Oh, we could just drive to California. We're already on our way." And I'm like,
That did work out once.
yeah, it did work out once. It's like,
Just pass it, keep going.
just kind of keep. I mean, having that, like, because I'm always down for it. I want to go. I mean, so long as we got the funds to do it and everything's going to be taken care of, like, let's go. I'm
The
down.
credit card doesn't need to be paid off. We can just run it up.
Yeah. It's okay. Just add it to the back of the loan. It'll be fine.
Are you gonna be that moto mom just constantly running around the track with your camera phone and whatnot when Carson gets on a P-dub?
I hope so. I just don't want to be the moto moms out there like screaming at their kids. Like, you know what I mean? I want to encourage him, and if he's really into it and he really wants to be competitive, then yeah, I'm gonna be screaming down his throat like, "Get on it, let's go!" Okay, maybe not that far, but yeah, it kind of depends on him. But I definitely want to film him, and so that way he can look back at it when he's a kid. And for me, obviously, I love
Also,
seeing anything.
Also really like Rhino's, not sound like a hippie, but I really like Ryan Hughes' philosophy on it. It's like, teach them the fundamentals and the speed will come. Just make sure they're doing it right. Don't be out there like with a stopwatch like, go faster, go faster, go faster. Oh, broken arm again. Okay. Try again in 6 months or whatever and go faster. But more or less teach them the fundamentals. Like, if something's telling you it's not good to do it, just don't do it. Figure out why you don't feel comfortable doing it, and then do it and just make it solid.
Yeah.
I really like that way because I've had a few friends that like their parents pushed them so hard, like doing this or doing that, they got hurt or they got burnt out of it because they didn't want to get yelled at their parents or they didn't want to go to the track every weekend. The parents forced them, and I really like that. It's just having fun with it, and it's not you have to do this, have to do that, you have to be this fast, hit that jump, and things like that.
Well, how did you get into riding?
My dad always rode, and I played soccer and basketball and volleyball and all of them growing up. And I was like 7 or 8, and I was at the track, and my dad was like trying to teach me something. And he didn't ride as often because he was always working. And he was telling me something, and I looked him straight in the face. I was like, Dad, do you even know how to ride? And from that moment on, he was racing with me. And then during COVID, I was playing soccer and basketball, and my mom was like, Lexi, why aren't you out there playing or practicing your soccer skills or basketball skills? And I was like, well, I'd rather go outside and ride my dirt bike. And so ever since, I quit everything else, and I was like, I just want to ride. I just want to ride. And all my aunts and uncles and my mom especially was always like, oh, dirt bikes will be a phase. Just watch. 6 years old, she'll be done. And it never did. And I've just always loved it, and I never want to stop.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
That's why I'm scared to have a daughter. Is just I'm scared that she's gonna be my polar opposite, and that it will just be a phase for her. Like, growing up, when she's little, she'll want to do it with us, but then, come high school, she's gonna be into boys and sports or something, and I'm not gonna have my little buddy out there. But I think it's keeping it fun and not, like you said, like not pushing them to hate it, and I don't know, keeping it like light, like a family thing. Like, hey, as a family, we all go to the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister, she never really got into dirt bikes, and she was more of a soccer and loves horses, which my mom also does. But she will like to go out and ride with us. Like when I've been hurt, she's been stealing my bike, and she's went and raced the gate drop showdown. And
What?
I think it's more of a Lexi, I can do this and you can't right now. But it's cool that she does want to go and like ride. And at our cabin in Cleellum, she's always like, Dad, like let's go on the trails. And it's fun that my dad can like go and take her, or we can go ride the fire roads with my mom on her quad. And it's kind of a fun little family thing that not all families can all go do one little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did horses. I barrel raced a lot. Like my parents are separated, so it was like with mom, I did the horse thing. And then with my dad, we'd always go to the dunes, we'd go to China Hat and do trails. And towards the end there in my high school years, my sister really wanted to try out motocross. Sorry, I think I said it that way. Sorry. Moto cross. Sorry. But so he got her like a 125 and took her out to Albany. That's like my first memory of track, actually, and watching her like go out onto the track and then dump it in the first corner. And then like a bunch of guys, I guess, like rode by and were like asking her if she needed help, and she's not that kind of person. She's like, no, I can pick it up myself, like leave me alone. And so that was like my first taste of that. And like, I don't know, my dad, I fell over on like my 90 Honda in our gravel, and I cried, and he just never made me get back up. Like, so I wish that I would have gotten that, like if he would have actually like pushed me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, I got into it, and the timing was right when it was, obviously. So it worked out.
That's awesome. Yes. Well, it's always a big thing because my dad was always scared to like push me further, and like he sees all the kids and how their parents act and how they're always pushing them, and my dad doesn't want to make that for me. He wants to push me to a point where I'll get better, but he doesn't want to push me to a point where I'm gonna lose the fun of it. And right, like I love it and it's so much fun, and I would love to keep going as a career. And I know that women don't normally just can't race for their whole life. And so like making a career out of meeting all the people, and I love talking to everybody. So just like talking to everybody instead of making it the most stressful thing, like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, my dad's gonna get mad at me. It's more of a, oh my gosh, Dad, I just hit that jump and he's super excited with me whether I hit it or not. But
Yeah.
I would say I do, but sometimes I don't. But it's always making it fun and not super stressful and not wanting to ever go to the track.
I'd say one pro for you, Lexi, is that one, you're like, you have a lot of talent there and the speed. So I mean, obviously you're not going to be a Jet Lawrence because like they don't have anything past like the women's master class for Loretta's. So, but I mean, with your personality and whatnot, I'm sure like, especially with getting with JMC or whoever, like, there's a spot for you in the sport when it comes to moto and whatnot.
Yes, I would love to grow and be a Michelle and run a race team or run a shop or something. That's what I really want to do.
Well, that's what Rock River does. I mean, if you go back and look at, I'm spacing on her name right now, but who runs Rock River with her husband, like that's what they did. And they've been doing for quite a while. Christina, I think. That's why. Yeah, that sounds correct in my stuff and whatnot. Jumping back into Michael and Stephanie's life, like how's baby life? What's the easiest thing right now with Carson traveling around, and what's the hardest thing about being a moto mom?
He actually does the drives really well. I think it was 9 or 10 hour drive, and I mean he did really good. He really likes Bluey, and so you can put Bluey on and he's pretty happy. Or I mean, even if you don't have that, he's pretty chill. He just wants to be tickled and played with. That sounds weird.
It's a baby.
Well, yeah, I guess it is really hard though, like trying to film and take him with me, especially at a new track, just because I don't know the areas. I don't know what their rules are on people, like spectators being out in the infield videoing and whatnot. And also now that he's crawling really fast, if I set him down, I worry that he's gonna like run onto the track.
He likes eating gravel.
Or eating gravel, yes. But like if I have like a baby pack on, that also makes filming really hard. Like just because he can grab up and touch the camera now, or it's like I'll be videoing
Just
and
put him in a
then
backpack.
it'll be like all wobbly and whatnot. Yeah, I've been actually wanting to get some kind of backpack so he's back there, not on the front of me.
Just starts peeing all over you.
Yeah, yeah. That's okay. I'm used to that at this point. But I mean, he does really good. It can be hard, but it's not impossible. Like,
I'm gonna say he'll fall asleep like when we're getting up there to the gate or whatever. Like I'll have him in the front pack and sweeping Stephanie's gate and like all the bikes starting up at Albany or whatever, and he'll just like I'll look down like, you okay? You haven't moved in a little bit, and he's just asleep in the baby pack, and it's like, okay, well, cool.
yeah,
I guess he's used to it.
yeah.
How much longer till we like throw him on a P-dub? Like we're gotta be getting close, right, Michael, Stephanie?
Dude, we got the Strider a few months ago. Actually, back in July.
Yeah.
And he's starting to figure out how to walk, like stand up, unsupported, and take steps. But I don't know. It's he wants to like anything with wheels. He wants to like he'll push himself for a couple steps, then he'll get off of it, flip it upside down, and start spinning the wheels with it upside down. Just because he really likes the wheels.
Yeah.
But
he's like low key, just like a mechanic. He's just gonna be your mechanic. That's why I now figured it out. That's why you two had a kid. So because you got tired of washing bikes, you're like, hey.
That totally. That reminds me of the motocross Disney movie where the one kid is out there being the mechanic.
Yeah.
The younger
Get
brother.
the little brother out there doing it all.
Yeah, tearing apart motors and seeing how fast he can do it. I'm like, I'd be happy if Carson did that. He can work on his own bikes.
I figured out the whole reasoning of why you guys started a family. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
Yep. Michael and I can just focus on riding, and he'll be down there tinkering. Hey, we got
as soon
a
as
problem.
it starts working, we got our funding too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're just rambling here. I got some questions. Gravy's got some questions for all of us here, so we'll do Gravy's instant thing and then tune out for the night. As I'm like starting to cough here, I'm just gonna play the Gravy thing so I can cough.
Gravy, why you flow so mean, Mr. Clean?
All right, well, Grayson still wants to be part of our show, so
Yeah.
Gravy questions. I didn't even look at them until right now. So first one's for Lexi. Three favorite pro riders besides Jet.
Hayden Deegan, Chase Sexton, and Eli Tomac. Actually, I think I'm going to trade Chase for Aaron Plessinger.
Yeah.
Chase is like, jerk. Okay. Question for me. Will you ever buy another Mercedes vehicle? I mean, a Sprinter's got pros and cons. It's a nice, fresh, brand new 2010 Sprinter. I mean, you guys have a Ford Sprinter, Michael and Stephanie. What's the Ford life like? Are you good so far? Knock on wood.
Yeah, I mean, we had one electrical issue just because there was a water leak in some of the wires, and got that fixed up, and we haven't really had problem one with it. It's just oil changes, tire rotations, and not driving too fast, which won't let you go faster than 97. So
We've tested this.
I think yours is governed at 88, isn't it, or 85, something like that?
For Michael, whose idea was it to start your YouTube channel?
So I think that was our buddy Jordan we were hanging out with, and like, well, we should do some vlogs and stuff. And I mean, I had that in the back of my head for a little bit, like, oh, I'm bored of just doing like little edits, and I was like, I want to do more of a vlog style thing. And then I was thinking about doing that. Then I met Stephanie, got distracted, and then our friend Jordan's like, we should do like a vlog or something like that. And like, yeah, dude, now I remember.
Okay. For Stephanie, Grayson asks, who changes the most diapers?
Well, now that I'm a stay-at-home mom, it's obviously me, but yeah, it's me. It's me.
I think we take a good rotation.
Yeah, when he's home and whatnot, yeah, or the weekend, it's
More or less the poopy ones. It's like, you got the last one, I'll take this one. Or,
yeah.
I did the last one, you take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Like, if Lauren and I have a kid, I mean, who's gonna like do that stuff? I mean,
Ajax?
yeah, I'll just have Ajax over there just like changing the diaper. Yeah, I just poop, man. I mean, dog poop already is enough. I already got enough shit in my life.
Well, you could just let him run around naked, and then all you gotta do is just plop him in the tub, dunk him a couple times, be good.
That's very redneck.
Hey, it'll work.
For Lexi, who is a celebrity you want to hang out with that's not in the moto industry or a pro rider?
I think it would be really cool to hang out with Parker McCollum.
I don't even know who that is.
Country singer.
Okay. For what band? By himself or what?
By himself.
Okay. I guess I'll have to jam out to his music later. Have to get that Lexi vibe going. Okay, Grace has got some random ones for me. Does square pizza taste different than round pizza, and which is better? I mean,
I don't think I ever had a square pizza before.
You've never had Tostitos?
Bruschetta brick oven.
Bruschetta?
Square.
I don't know. Does the shape really taste the difference? I feel like if it's square, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, that bruschetta stuff's pretty good.
I know. Now you're making me hungry. I want pizza now.
Yeah, I don't know, Grayson. You're a strange man. What's the favorite bike you've rode, Michael?
That'd be my 2019 KX450.
Okay.
Like, so far the Yamaha's really good. It's showing promise, but until it can go 200 plus hours without having any major issues, Cowie's still on top for me.
See, that's interesting because Cowies tend to grenade for a lot of people.
Not slow people.
Oh man, I'm already having like regrets like about selling my 2021's Yamaha 250F. I'm like, that was a fun bike. And then like I've been listening to the Kiefer podcast of all the bike reviews, and I'm like, oh man, 25 CRF 250 sounds so much fun right now. I'm like, stop it, Steven. You don't have money for this. You don't have the skill level either to ride anymore. So you should probably just stop thinking about dirt bikes.
I'm gonna be a bad friend and encourage you to get back on the bike. Do it.
I'm only fast at Albany though, or at least I think I'm fast. I mean, I also lost against the 5-year-old, so I mean,
there's that.
we got a lot
hard to watch, man.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot of life difficulties over here.
Yeah, go to California. The P-dubs will wipe you with the floor.
Oh yeah, I know.
Whatever. It's getting late for me.
For Stephanie, what are some of the women riders you look up to and inspire you to ride?
So many. At your race, I think is that the race that Jaylee was at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gallagher was there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone knows her, but like when she lined up next to me, I was just like, ah! It was so cool.
I'm about to get smoked.
Yeah. Definitely Rayana Mueller. I love her style. Like, not a dig on women, but I love that she rides like a guy. Or like you could say the same thing for like Jordan Jarvis.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate that style. Oh, there's a lot of really good girls. There's a friend's up in Washington. She's a mom now too.
Oh, Jimmy and Ashley.
Jimmy and Ashley, like
Agnes's.
yeah, I watched her race arena cross my first year racing really, and she's got that kind of guy style too, and like she just makes it look so effortless and blowing out berms and hitting all the big rhythms. Like that's to me that's so awesome. I love like even when I'm not racing, I love going down the line and fist bumping all the girls and being like, "Good luck, go out there and kick some butt for us." Love
Right.
it.
Where has Rihanna been? She like kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I mean she lives on the coast, and I think maybe she has a.
I think she had a pretty bad knee
Oh
injury.
yeah, that too.
Okay. I don't know. I'll have to hit her up in Facebook and be like, "Hey, where you at? You want to make some Chuck E. Cheese tokens next year? We got to get that women's class up."
I think she went to territorial a week or so ago, so she's getting back into it.
Yeah, stay away from pit bikes, Ray.
Yeah, I want because every time that she's gone to Loretta's, I'm like, I want to watch. I want to see her do good.
Right. For Lexi, who has been your favorite guest so far on our podcast?
You guys. And
What a cop-out answer.
No prep.
and definitely Chandler.
Oh, wow. Very, wow.
That one just kind of it had so much to talk about. It kind of just flowed good. But I really liked being with some of the trainers like Sean and BK and
Michael's been on.
Michael, yes. They've had so like just hearing them and their way of training is just I was like, oh well, now I want to go train with
Jason.
Sean and now I want to go train with everybody else because just like hearing it's not all about hit this jump to be faster or do this. It's the mental or the off the bike or the slowing down in these parts of the track to get faster in these. So it's really cool to hear their different ways and how each different trainer thinks a different way and how they can get to different people. Like one person might go get well with this trainer and they hear it and they clicks in their head. But in other ways that the other trainer might have a different way and it might help them that way.
Yeah, it's been cool. You're getting different perspectives and whatnot and different styles. I mean, we'll have to swing for the fences here, see if we can get like Destry Abbott on, or I know you've got that connection, Lexi, so I'll give you homework. And then I'm gonna reach out to Stank Dog, see if we can get Jared Stanky on here. He's always that interesting guest. That will be fun. Yeah, I'm sure he'll come on at some point. For me, who are your top 3 dream guests to have on the podcast? Wow, I just segued into that without even realizing. I mean, be cool to get Max Miller on. I don't know. We can try to get Levi Kitchen. I know I need to just ask. That's part of my thing. It's like the worst thing is someone just being left on red or saying no. But with him being focused on probably redeeming himself on trying to get that West Coast championship, like
He had it. I was so bummed,
dude. Like, McAdoo, why'd you do that to him?
thinking about getting some of those truck nuts and going as McAdoo for Halloween.
Got McAdooed, bro. But it'd be cool to get Levi on and also just expand to more stuff. It'd be cool to have. I don't know if I'd have to help probably on the tech side, just because sometimes our iStream really sucks here, as you can tell with tonight's service and whatnot. It'd be cool to get one of our track promoters on, like Royce Duvall or Ted, or get information, stuff that people don't usually typically ask, like what's it like running a racetrack, and get information from certain riders and whatnot. So
to see the other side of it a little bit.
Yeah, just something to get more topics and whatnot that people love to hear. I know I put in search of more guests and whatnot, and people are like, I don't know, Moto parents. I'm like, we have a Moto parent segment. Just got to figure out which Moto parents want to get on here. I know we had AJ Brolette on here earlier, so we'll get some more. Last one for Michael. What was your pickup line you used to get Stephanie?
Hey girl, what up? You like dirt bikes? A little bit of Steve's on it.
Last one for Stephanie. I'm getting feedback with someone's thing. Whose idea was it to get married at the racetrack? Pat's Acres, for example. Pat's Acres, be specific.
Well, we wanted to get married at Mountain View just because it's so beautiful there, and it's especially his favorite track. And then we were like, well, we met at Pat's Acres, and we've got kind of a good relationship with the owners there. Like, we should see if we can get married there, because how cool would that be to get married where you met?
All right. Well,
that's also where we conceived Carson. Kidding, maybe. I think I'm making him blush a little bit.
It's a family podcast, Stephanie.
I didn't say anything.
30 plus 2 after dark.
After dark, there we go.
I guess it is.
All right. Okay. Just like Kiefer said.
Oh, something that you should ask, if you have any other like female writers come on, is you should ask them like how they feel about like the women's what is it, like the bringing back like the pro women's class.
WMX.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you like dirt bikes, why wouldn't you want to watch it WMX? Like,
well, they
I watched the class if they
like a new format. They have it, but it's still not the same back as it was in our day, Michael, where it was like they would race on the same day with the pros at Washougal and whatnot.
Yeah,
I know they go to Daytona, Freestone. I know Jaylee's done a couple of them. We'll have to get Gallagher on here. She just switched to Hondas too, so
yeah, I just saw that.
To watch.
Hope that goes good for her.
It doesn't matter. She can probably ride a Suzuki and kill everyone on that too.
Well,
the Suzuki I rode at the Gate Drop race, that thing was impressive. Like, I did not expect that thing to be such a monster. Just a bone stock 23 RMZ 450, and that thing killed it.
It took me like a week after the event to realize that you raced a Suzuki. Like, you just kind of like MIA'd for me, like after the whole shot challenge. And I'm all like, I guess Michael's not racing anymore. Whatever. I don't know. Something happened.
That's when I got the oil leak on my Cowie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 671 threw me off there. I'm all like, I don't know. Some dude's trying on the Suzuki, but I don't know who it is. All right. Anyone got any questions left before we wrap it up here? As I blow out this pen that I'm just screwing around with.
I think that's it.
That's a wrap. All right. Anyone got any rants?
I don't got any good ones this week.
No.
I'm ready for Gate Drop. What does it be, like 2.5?
3.0.
3.0. Ready for that.
Put on a great event.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Need to bring some more races. Those things are awesome.
They're stressful.
Hey, it takes a lot of weight off the lap counters' backs too.
Yeah, I mean, we are working on that for next year. Transponders, and I've got additional staff. We're just building. It's just like building a house, For me, it's just really slow.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's always something that, I've really enjoyed doing the promotions and whatnot. Super thankful for all the families that have jumped in and helped. And, I just got to see if any of them want to start traveling around and doing more of that, since it seems like a couple of our race series are starting to fade away here and there. Got to make more events. So
bring back the Pacific Northwest Championship Series. One race per weekend. Washougal, Mountain View, Albany, PIR, back at Washougal for round 5 over the course of the summer. Transponders.
That'd be cool.
No more double headers.
As I stroke my beard. All right. Well, thanks for jumping on here. For those that want to follow you, what's the best way for people to follow you on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook?
So Instagram for her at millgirl317, and at MXGuy36. Then we have at That Moto Couple for Instagram and That Moto Couple vlog on YouTube.
Nice. You got any vlogs you're planning on to do coming up?
I've been working on the one from our NorCal trip like today, so
Nice.
a lot more fine tuning on it.
Maybe I'll just have to hire you guys for additional content for Gate Drop Productions.
I'd be down since I'm not working.
Working on that budget. Yeah, we'll do that.
I
Lexi,
you sort photos. Sorry.
oh, we could do that. I'm always looking for additional help.
Yeah.
I'm also we got picked up another sponsor for our small group team, which Lexi we got still contact. We got some contract negotiations to do.
Perfect.
I'm like, are you in or out? I don't know. We're gonna sit you down at JMC at the banquet or something. Lexi, for you. Okay, bye. How can people follow you?
le.xi_y on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, cool.
Tagging a picture with her if you're trying to find that.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone wants to follow me at GateDrop_pro, thanks everyone for watching. And just kind of a low-key podcast tonight. We'll see if we'll do one next weekend. Got some Moto dads that want to jump on, so maybe we'll have Preston Hagman on because he's got a podcast that he wants to start doing. I may or may not be one of his guests, so we'll see. Oh, how the tables have turned, or how Michael Scott say, how the
turntables.
All right. Well, that's a wrap here for episode 31, 30+2 podcast. Thanks, guys, for joining us, and for everyone watching. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was
thank you.
always good to talk dirt bikes for an hour.